Hey, everybody, and welcome to another jam-packed edition of the OverMark podcast. Joining me is a man who's basically a walking blockbuster shelf from the 90s. He's watched wrestling since birth, and honestly, he's forgotten more than the Twitter journalists ever knew. Rumor is Jim Cornette is his uncle, which explains the yelling, but trust me, he doesn't own a tennis racket. He's hyped about the UFC Paramount Plus deal like they're about to put him on commentary. And if you've got a product to hawk, Arizona tea, Monster Energy drink, maybe a leash for his dogs, he'll endorse it for a case of whatever you got. This is TJ. Hey, TJ, how's it going, man? Good to see you, dude.
What's going on, Dave? You know, it's another beautiful day, going out in the blistering heat and heating myself up for some money and then coming home. And I live to come home, man. I love all my stuff. I love hanging out with my friends, you know, my wife, the dogs, everything we got going on. It's no work, everything else though. I love it. It's essentially
home is absolutely the best place to be. That's a W take for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, speaking of endorsements, maybe somebody could send you like an air conditioned shirt or something, you know, some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, I've seen those things. They've been popping up. I actually have a thing that I put on my belt buckle that tosses air up at me, but it's not air conditioned. It's just like, you know, a little fan.
Oh, well,
it helps.
That? I bet you it does. I have like a little neck fan thing that helps.
Yeah, those are pretty common.
You do what you can when you live in a very hot climate and you have to be outside for a little bit.
You remember that episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force where Master Shake ends up getting all this gear, and he like starts off with like these headphones, but it's like a computer and the VR thing, and he eventually just encompasses his whole body. Like he gets a piano, and then it's the e-ano actually, and then it eventually like becomes sentient and starts like just doing its own thing. But it's like, I feel like over time, that's more what we're becoming. It's like we got the smart glasses, the earbuds, the phone, the watch, the fans. You know, what else do we need?
I'm sure that there's something. Smart pants.
Yeah. Give it a couple years.
They'd be like, you need to take a shower. You reek.
You need to wipe.
Oh, no. Well, that said, today we'll be talking to you about SmackDown from August 22nd, 2025, Collision from August 24th, 2025, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view from August 24th, 2025, and you guessed it, we've got some news. The King of the Hill episodes 5 and 6 review. I believe it's 5 and 6. I didn't put the notes on here. I'm like 99% sure it's 5 and 6 though. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials at OverMarkENT. Like, comment, and subscribe on the video, please, so that we can whipple algorithm. Speaking of him, I've been seeing all these different videos of people getting messed with on their YouTube channels and things of that nature. You know, like big YouTubers, Gamer Nexus, Rick Beato. It's just like, man,
what's kind of
these big guys are getting screwed with. You know, what kind of hope do little guys have?
It's wild, essentially, like, you can't fight it. Once you have, like, a copyright strike, if they don't cave in, they just win. It's nuts. Like, you can fight. We've had it happen to us. Against stuff that's literally, like, public domain or, like, something that they don't even own. But then somebody tries to do it, and it's like, hey, I realize, like, this guy sent you a link with his song on it, but he doesn't own that. And I don't own it, actually. Nobody does. It's you know, public domain, but I don't know. It's just all computer-driven stuff, and it's pretty terrible, and it's that's why Patreon and stuff like that exists, so people can take a little bit more control, you know. But what you gonna do, brother?
Just make sure that we use everything that's free use. Maybe we'll put a little disclaimer or something on our channel. All content herein is, you know, any songs, whatever the things may be. Yeah. Anyway, you want to jump us into SmackDown or you want to do Collision?
I'll go into it, but our stuff's a little bit different with the stuff that we put on there. So like with the way that works is like nobody's copyrighted. Like there's just nothing that we have could even be confused for anything when it comes to something like that. Like at this point we're using all our own stuff except for 2 sound clips, and I don't think that they were copyrighted or trademarked. So it is what it is, and we're gonna go into WWE SmackDown here. And they had an attendance which was a sellout of 9,151 in the 3 Arena in Dublin, Ireland. So both shows there were going overseas. It's funny, I look like crap now for some reason. And basically, each of us we're gonna do a quick rundown here, and we're gonna react to this, and we're gonna do like a quick, maybe like 1 sentence to like a 1-word response if that's really where we're going with it. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it, and we have these quick match results here, and it's Mello Don't Miz defeated the Motor City Machine Guns. This happened.
Yeah. And I guess at some point there's long-term storytelling with Miz and Mello here, but I could do without seeing any of these guys right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I wonder when like the Miz isn't gonna work there anymore. He's like a lifer, and I wonder when they're gonna stop finding a use for him. But anyways, we got Piper Niven, and she defeated Charlotte Flair. This is a stinker.
Oh no. Yep.
Big
Not
stinker.
great. Not great.
And then we got the Street Profits, and they defeated MFT, JC Mateo, and Tonga Loa. It's funny, JC Mateo is like the most legitimate guy in that group, like when it comes to like credentials outside of wrestling. But he looks terrible. Like you see all these other guys, and like they could all pass for guys that you think would beat you up. And Mateo, like I'm sure, like if you ran into him in the streets, like he'd probably look bigger and be like somebody you wouldn't want to mess with. But with those guys around him, it just accentuates how terrible he looks. Like you got to lose that gut, man. Take out a gut like that, like you are just eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. And I know you're doing physical activity. Look at you. You're on TV. You're probably lifting weights. Go ahead, Dave.
A lot of that other size doesn't come without lifting weights. The Street Profits are, it feels like that they are slowly becoming more over.
Yeah.
So I'll give them that. Then we had
Damon Priest, versus Aleister Black. It never got started, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Then I don't really have much to say about it.
I like Aleister Black's entrance. I don't know.
Well, they cut to it. I feel like they didn't show the full thing. Didn't they come in halfway?
Yeah. They do that a lot with him.
Yeah, it's a long one. And then we have the WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill defeating the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't watch this fucking match. I did attempt to watch it, but then something else better took my attention.
Yeah, I took the opportunity to browse Reverb for audio interfaces and things of that ilk during that match.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Just not something that would really hold my interest. But my high point of the show was the Logan Paul John Cena promo. It was definitely the best promo that Logan Paul's ever done.
That actually was my same high point as well. Can't talk today. I don't know why. That doesn't always happen, but Logan Paul just surprised me. And Cena, obviously he works to whoever he's working with. So
yep. And
it was good.
Yeah.
Logan Paul's best promo ever, like you said.
Yeah, hands down. He was passionate about it. And then my low point was Piper defeating Charlotte. I don't know. I don't really want to body shame anybody, but it's just obvious she's not working as hard as the other people on this show.
My low point was the same. Uh, if you guys listen to our show regularly, you know that we're not really fans of Piper. You know, it would be different if she could cut a promo, had redeemable in-ring ability, move merchandise, something. The only thing that she moves is my hand to the remote control to fast forward through her segments, man.
Yeah, there's so many good women's wrestlers out there these days that like she's on there. It just feels like kind of like a charity case to me. But that being said, I gave the show a 3.
Well, I gave it a 4, but because I thought it was a below average episode, but maybe it was more like a 3. I don't know, but we'll just say 4 because that's what I put. But it
Well,
wasn't great.
if you go by other people's rating systems, a 3 is the same as a 4. So, right?
I mean, like it's slightly worse.
I'm messing with you.
Oh yeah, no, I got what you mean now. I'm a goof.
Yeah.
Huh.
You're on the next one. That's the end of our Raw one.
We got some end of the Raw. We got a AEW Collision with attendance. What day was that? 8/23/25, with an attendance of 7,705, set up for 8,002. This was taped the same day as Dynamite.
Yep.
So they had the same attendance as Wednesday.
Yep, same show.
297. They might have ended up selling out. I can't recall. I don't remember if they said it on the broadcast or not. This was another hard watch. Spoiler alert.
The crowd reactions in comparison between Dynamite and this show were night and day. They were not into this show.
Well, yeah, they did Dynamite first, and then everybody had to sit through this.
Yeah. No. Actually, I think they did Collision first. I could be wrong, but I feel like it was the other way around.
Maybe. I will say this, hotter than American crowds for both shows.
Absolutely, but their American crowd just sit there and with their hands, sitting on their hands like this. So I mean that wouldn't be hard to beat. But take us on down the quick match results here, Dave.
Well, we got our boy Scorpio Sky. He's back. He's teaming with Dante Martin and Darius Martin and Takahashi, defeating the Don Callis family's Hechichiro, Rocky Romero, and Josh Alexander, and also Lance Archer, in another 8-man match. If we had to just get everybody on TV, they do this every week.
Every show.
I feel like on both shows. Yeah.
Did you see Don Callis's announcing for Hechichiro coming out?
No.
That's their new thing. They get up in his face right here.
What did you...
No,
go ahead.
He announces the Mexican guy, Hechichiro, the luchador, coming out.
What was his name?
Hechichiro.
God bless you.
Oh, but he ends up going like he's like yelling, and he has like no back teeth. He's only got this line here. They're really messed up. But he did it on the pay-per-view as well. I guess that's like their new thing for him. Yeah, he's really into it too. Like he's trying as hard as he can.
Huh.
But yeah,
I
don't know.
I'm not quite too sure why that's happening.
But yeah, but do your one word thing. I screwed you up there.
No, I thought my little rant was kind of my.
Oh, okay.
My thought on the match. I don't know. I'm tired of these 8-mans.
Yeah. This had no reason for me to care about it.
That should just be one of our standard ratings. Like, no reason to care. Anyway, the next match was Megan Bayne defeating the debuting Isla Dawn. Some of you may remember Isla Dawn from WWE. Fairly successful run as NXT Tag Team Champion. Had a cup of coffee on the SmackDown roster, Tag Team Champion there. And her tag team partner, former tag team partner, is what's her name? The other gal from the Hervis. That's not Piper Niven.
I don't know. I forget her name.
She's still there on TV every week. I don't know. They could have kept this one probably.
You gotten rid of
it.
But
yeah, Megan Bayne defeated her though in a trend of having all these people lose their debut matches when they come onto your program. I don't know. Probably could have just had her you know,
Go against anybody else.
yeah,
There's
it's, she's a hometown hero. That was one of the things that the crowd was hot for this show, but whatever.
you seem to have Queen Aminata lose on a pretty regular basis in Willow. Why not ever just beat one of them?
Weird.
Yeah, confusing stuff.
Anyway, speaking of those, we got Willow, Nightingale, and Queen Aminata defeating Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I don't hate any of the people in this match, but it wasn't a very good match. I'm not crazy about Queen Aminata. She's I don't know if she's getting better or not.
At least Thekla wasn't in this match.
Thank God.
That was it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, we got the Max Caster Invitational Open Challenge. Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Max Caster.
This is the first international one.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's doing jobs across the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Zack Sabre Jr. is like, don't let him around your kids. That's what he reminds me of. Just don't want nothing to do with him. I don't like him. His finger manipulation. He's creepy. That's all I got.
Huh. Well, we got the NJPW G135 winner. I'm blocking up here.
Takeshita
defeating Ishii.
Yep.
In a match that I didn't pay much attention to be honest with you. There's a lot of looking on my phone at interfaces again. I've been on an interface kick lately. Maybe we'll talk about that in a few minutes once we get past all these matches.
This is what I was talking about. When they grabbed each other's belts and they just started elbowing each other, the crowd booed this instantly when they started doing it. Takeshita's awesome. Ishii, not so much. I don't know what to tell you.
It's hard because it's like, you like somebody and it's like, well, come on, man. Don't do that goofy stuff.
Well, it's not even that. Like, that's going to happen in these kind of matches, but it's like Takeshita, no matter how much they try to do something with him, like this G1 thing doesn't mean anything. He's, I guess, like, he's just going to be in the same position in AEW and never do anything.
I mean, it means something in Japan, I suppose.
But not on AEW is what I mean.
Right.
So on AEW television, he's just going to still be the same guy not doing anything.
Well, speaking of things that don't mean anything, our next match was Big Bill defeating Mark Andrews. I take or leave this. I know you're a big fan of Big Bill.
The crowd liked it. Yeah. They ate this up. Not much to really talk about here. The crowd likes Bill.
Yeah, the crowd has helped make these shows, I think, get like a point better.
Yeah.
For my rating on each episode. Yep. Well, we got the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona defeating the Grizzled Young Veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake. Coming around on the GYV a little bit here. I know I keep saying that. Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy them a little more, but I don't know. Not crazy about Gates of Agony. I feel like I'm getting enough Samoan guys on WWE programming. I feel like I could probably go without seeing them on this one too. No offense to any Samoan folks. WWE is doing Samoan overload. So
yeah, this was just a tag team match on Collision. It wasn't real offensive, but just a match.
Yeah. Well, speaking of matches and offensiveness, we got the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson defeating the Paragon, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, in a match that I didn't really care about. It's kind of funny to see the Young Bucks be portrayed as like putzes and not have their EVP status, but it's whatever. I don't really care about any of these guys in this match. Main event, not for me.
I don't know. This is probably the best stuff they could be doing right now, though, with the little gimmick they're doing with not being EVPs anymore. So I'll give them that. But beyond that, just another match.
Yep. Well, in a night of low points, my high point was Willow, Nightingale, and Queen Aminata defeating Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I'm a big fan of Willow.
My high point, it was an okay match, by the way. Willow's definitely, she's probably actually one of the more talented girls on the roster. They just don't really seem to give her too many opportunities these days. They were in the past, but you know,
Well, it's because they were trying to get her to re-sign, and they're like, "Oh yeah, look at how we're using you,
yep.
sign into," and then instantly getting used like shit.
And then my high point was me saying that I can't really give the show a high point. This was a terrible show. Like I mean, these are almost as bad as it gets. Like I would rather end up having like the what something on a pole match, than this like the old WCW like 2001
Judy
days.
Bagwell on a
Yeah,
forklift.
yeah. Like I mean, this at this point, it's like they're just tossing more matches out there for the sake of having matches, and it just doesn't make a good show. But sorry, go on, go ahead, and we'll go to your low point if you want.
Well, had to give the old Young Bucks and Paragon as the low point for me. I wanted to like Roderick Strong. I never could really, you know, connect with him, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to like him too, but they were doing stuff with him at the beginning with Adam Cole and all that, but it seems to have
The Adam.
well, that, and you remember he faced Chris Jericho and stuff, and
Yeah.
they were like went outside because Adam Cole wasn't allowed on the property, and then Adam Cole they went outside, then Adam Cole was able to help him. But yeah, that was about the highlight of Roderick Strong's career in AEW. But my low
Yeah.
point was the Gates of Agony versus the Grizzled Young Vets. How many young tag teams are there on this show? You got the Young
A
Bucks
lot.
and the Grizzled Young Vets. None of them are very young, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Like, I mean, I've been saying it over and over again. This wasn't a great show, and this match stank. Wasn't offensive, but it's just like a whole bunch of guys that I don't care about wrestling. Like the Grizzled Young Vets, I guess they're ROH talent. They're never really on this show, so why would I care? But something else we don't care about, I guess, was the show's ratings. I gave it a 2.
Yeah. I gave it a 3. Like I said earlier, the crowds bought the show's extra point from me just because the crowds were, good crowds.
They weren't as good as they could. They were way better for Dynamite than they were this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to get excited for all that.
Yeah. Well, I think that being said, we're going to jump into our next review here. We got an extra one for you here. So it's AEW and NJPW Forbidden Door, and that happened August 24th in 2025. It was at the O2 Arena in London, England. They had an attendance. It was a sale of 18,922, and they say that the event has broken the indoor attendance record for a wrestling show at the venue. WWE held the previous record for a 2023 Money in the Bank PLE, which drew 17,617. I wouldn't be shocked if the turnstile ends up popping up lower if they ever release that number. You could see a whole bunch of empty seats. Like, still a very impressive number, and I'm not trying to be negative on them here. Just they were caught lying about this last year and the year before, so wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprising.
this isn't the 80s. You can't lie about your gate anymore.
Yeah, well, they you remember like Will Ospreay got the tattoo of the Wembley, or not the Wembley, but the first All In on him, like the 81,000, and it's like they were actually like 76, which is still insanely impressive. But just it would have been a lie. So we're gonna go down these quick match results here, and I'm gonna jump right into it. And we got Adam Copeland and Christian Cage defeating Killswitch and Kip Sabian. It was cool seeing Edge and Christian again, but Killswitch and Kip Sabian are fucking terrible.
That's why it was perfect for them to wrestle them, because it was people that you don't like, so that you can really root for the dudes that you do.
I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Kip Sabian's just like, oh man.
He sucks. He's got a hot wife. That's the best thing that guy ever did.
I think something may have happened there recently. But anyways, yeah, just maybe don't show up on the show with makeup and like the hair and stuff. But we had the AEW TNT Championship match with Kyle Fletcher defeating Hiromu Takahashi. This was a good match, but I've never seen that one guy before, and I don't want to ever see him again.
Yeah, that's a accurate description. Decent I mean, all of these matches had good in-ring stuff. You know, we can't take anything away from that.
There's just no reason to care.
Yep.
They're all the same match too. You know, I don't want to draw on this for too long, but I saw somebody say something the other day like, "Oh, AEW has this like every style is on AEW television. There's so many different kinds of matches and match types and match styles," and it's like, for the most part, it's just luchador style and then a mix of Japanese strong style and American. Everybody's having the same match.
Yep.
And then we'll jump right into the next one. Is the AEW TBS Championship 4-way match with Mercedes Moné defeating Alex Windsor, Fessermone, and Bozilla. Not much to really say here.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Well, I don't want to. IWGP Heavyweight Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Nigel McGuinness. These type of matches aren't for me. Nigel McGuinness is a talented guy, and I'm not saying that Zack Sabre Jr. isn't either, but I don't know, wasn't feeling it.
I feel like they just throw Nigel the match bone when they're doing these England shows because
100%.
I mean, that's just my guess anyhow.
Nope, that's it. Well, then we got the AEW World Tag Team Championship 3-way match. Bandito, ROH World Championship. So I'm saying that weird. Bandito's the ROH champion, and then we have Brody King, and they defeated the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, and FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. It's like their tag team division's not good. It's essentially like I would say dead. And then it's just like, they have what Gates of Agony and Ricochet come out and screw them over by taking them out, which does make sense, but it's like I would have much rather went with FTR. This is just some makeshift tag team that you toss together with some goof that thinks he understands border politics, and then some guy that hasn't ever cut a promo on AEW television, so he's missing half the package, and he's just doing the same moves that every guy in a mask is doing on the show.
That's an accurate assessment of what went on in this match.
Yep.
Not great.
And then we'll go to AEW Unified Championship match with Okada defeating Swerve Strickland. This was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be, but didn't blow me away or anything. They gave him time, but Okada's just lazy and phoning it in. Swerve's going away.
I kind of expected it to be better, but with Swerve's tweaked knee and Okada being 2025 Okada.
Yeah.
We got what we got.
And then we'll jump to the AEW Women's World Championship with Timeless Toni Storm defeating the ROH Women's Champion, Athena. Athena's got a couple cool moves, but overall, I would say that this was a little bit better than average.
Yeah, I mean, Toni Storm will pull a good match out of most of these girls. I wasn't crazy about her mannequin face makeup or whatever, or her all whited out face, but whatever. She's doing her thing.
I don't know if you saw Trailer Park Boys Europe or whatever, but they visit a guy that's dressed like this, and it's some kind of like thing that goes on over there. So how older people used to dress, and I don't know. That's what it reminded me of. But we'll jump into the AEW World Championship match, the men's, according to Adam Page. Don't need you to tell me that. But Hangman defeated MJF. It was an MJF match, super gimmicky. This wasn't a bad match. I thought it was actually pretty good. I like matches like this. The World Championship match is supposed to have goofy stuff happening. I hate to break it to you, but it's the main thing on your show, so it has to have drama and things going on that normal matches don't have. And this is a pretty decent match.
Probably should have been the main event.
Wrong winner. Hangman just stinks, but he can wrestle.
Yeah.
And then we
does stink.
And then we got the lights out steel cage match with Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kota Ibushi defeating Jon Moxley, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Gabe Kidd, and Claudio Castagnoli. I'd say for probably about the first 5 minutes of this match, I wasn't feeling it, but they kind of got into the groove, and I actually did enjoy this match. I feel like out of all these types of matches that they've had, this is probably the one I like the most. Not the ear spot with the fork. That was terrible. And
Yeah, we're not.
yeah, I may not need to see that ever again. But beyond that, good match.
Yeah, it's maybe I'm old, but when you start to get 10 dudes in a cage match, it's a
It's
little
tough.
hard to watch everything that's going on. And like you said, can do without the fork spot. What they always got to be stabbing each other or maiming each other or some kind of attempted homicide. I just
It's a lot. But that being said,
yeah.
um, my high point was MJF versus Adam Page.
Oh, that's a good high point. I ended up going with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage defeating Killswitch and Kip Sabian. It was like being a teenager again watching these guys team up. I was pretty pumped about that.
Not
And
bad.
I don't like Killswitch and Kip Sabian, so
It worked out.
yeah.
Well, we're going to jump to the low point, and mine was a TBS Championship four-way match with Mercedes Moné defeating Bozilla. That sounds like a meal that you would get at Bojangles, by the way. But Alex Windsor and Fesserphone, I don't know. There was just no reason for me to care about this Mercedes Moné. She can have some good matches, but overall, her AEW run, minus Tony Storm, hasn't been anything that's been something to me. That's been anything that I will be speaking highly of. You got anything for that one, Dave?
So I'm
Your low point.
so apparently real quick that name as Persephone is the Greek goddess of vegetation in the underworld, the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, and the wife of Hades.
Mm.
So that's what that gal took her name after. And then I'm looking at her Instagram here. And, okay. Interesting. Anyway, my low point was Bro Dito winning the tag team titles. Of all of the tag teams involved in that match, that's who walked out with the titles. That wouldn't have been my booking choice. But I don't know the company. I'm just a guy in his bedroom.
Well, it's funny, the crowd reactions from are different than what seems to be being successful for them. So it's like even if those guys are getting like, oh man, this is a great match, and they're cheering them in person, it doesn't really seem to translate to general viewership, attendance, or interest. So I don't know.
Almost like they're just over with the people that they're over with, and that's it.
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 4. Crowd bottom up point again. It was a big hot crowd.
That it was. I'll agree with you there. They were into a lot of stuff that happened, but they're different than American crowds when they did boost some stuff that they didn't like. But I think that being said, we got a button to hit if you want to move on from this.
Oh boy,
He's wrangling it up. I think we got it coming.
Oh man, why can't I find it?
Oh, there it is.
And I got news for you.
All right, cool.
Wow,
Were you going to jump us into this one, Dave?
I sure am. But before we get started, I just want to let you know that this news segment is brought to you by Haritos. They're not sponsoring us. I just like it. And these were on clearance at Publix. It's a 1.5 liter of soda, which is way more soda than one person needs, for under $2.
I'm feeling like, hold that bottle up there again. Where's somebody shoving that thing?
Oh no. right into the garbage can after you have emptied the soda out of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, the recycling, because it's plastic, like a responsible person.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's just a funny shape. It's not going to fight you too much until it does.
So yeah, anyway, Haritos. Mexican soda made by Mexican people, made with real sugar.
Don't shove it
like
anywhere except the garbage can
Yeah.
or recycling.
It's not for inserting. You take the liquid out of the bottle and you shove it into your mouth and you drink it. And then like TJ said, you shove the container into the recycling like a responsible good citizen.
Not anywhere else.
Right. It's not for any kind of shoving anywhere. And that said, we got our first news segment here. Jim Ross could be jumping ship from AEW to WWE. Wrestling Hall of Famer and legendary announcer Jim Ross may be preparing for one final move in his storied career. According to Dr. Chris Featherstone, Ross is seriously considering a return to WWE after his current AEW contract expires at the end of this month. Backstage speculation suggests Ross would like to close out his career with the company, where he became the most recognizable voice in wrestling. Ross has been with AEW since 2019, but his schedule has been reduced in recent years due to health issues, including a battle with cancer. Despite limited appearance, Ross remains one of the most respected figures on commentary. He is still scheduled to work this Sunday, which, spoiler alert, I should have edited those notes.
He did.
He did work the pay per view.
Twice.
He announced that. What's up?
He was actually on it twice, I believe.
Yep. So it was good to see JR out there. And he made the trip across the pond. And this could mark his final broadcast with AEW if no extension is reached. Ross is best remembered for his tenure in the WWE during the Attitude Era, where his passionate commentary helped define iconic moments with names like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and The Undertaker. A return to WWE for his final run would bring his career full circle. Yeah, I'd like to see good old JR and the WWE family. TJ and I talked about this the other day. You know, the countless voiceovers, different things that he could be doing, documentaries, interviews, things of that nature. What do you think of all this?
I feel like he isn't exactly motivated to work to his best potential in AEW because of the style of wrestling isn't something that he necessarily would be inclined to enjoy. Not that I'm not saying that it's bad or anything. I'm just saying that it's not his cup of tea. So I feel like him around his buddies too would make him happier. Everybody there is like a mark for JR, so I feel like it would work pretty well for him. I would like to see him do some good work before, maybe one day he does pass in the future, or maybe he gets to retire. I know after his wife passed, he kind of likes to stay busy and all that. So let's get him over there and let's get him around his friends and just like build JR up for a little bit and celebrate the end of whatever he decides to do, because he deserves it. He's the man. He's the greatest announcer of all time. He's the voice of my childhood, along with the King, Jerry Lawler, the best two guys in the booth ever. That's an opinion, not a fact, but a lot of people agree with it. When you go back and you watch these old events, like watch WrestleMania 17, JR is going to blow your socks off compared to how the guys do it these days. He's amazing. You go back and watch any Raw that he was a part of from 1997 to 2003. It's longer than that, and he is so good at what he does. He makes you care about people. He uses the right verbiage to describe what's going on. So maybe if the people in the ring aren't showing necessarily he's the final piece of the puzzle. You got to have good announcers. They bring the whole thing together, and AEW's missing that. Daniel Bryan did a great job this weekend. He
did.
He's got to tighten himself up a little bit, but he did an awesome job. And some of the stuff that he was doing was work that JR does, highlighting personal stuff about the guys, their accolades outside of wrestling, why you should care about something, not just, oh my God, he hit him with a tope to a Cena. Did you see that, Dave? Oh, I got a mask on my head. I'm wearing. Did you know I wrestled for 8 months?
That guy sucks.
Yeah, he's terrible. But did you know he wrestled for 8 months with a mask on? But
never cared. I assumed that he wrestled, and that was where the mask gimmick came from. Because what kind of dork just decides, I'm going to be the masked announcer?
Sorry, I didn't mean to go on the tirade against the goofball guy. But overall, Jim's the man, and I'd like to see him do that just so he could be a part of some of these, like. So we had the what was it? WWE Unreal. Could you imagine JR being the one to narrate that? I mean, come on.
Yeah, right.
It writes itself, He would be the man for something like that, and I don't want to keep rambling on about it, but this would be good for JR, and I think overall it'd be a positive for wrestling as a whole, because he's not being used enough for them to justify keeping him in AEW. But that being said, we can go into this next one here, and that is Will Ospreay reportedly pushed to wrestle at Forbidden Door despite injury. I don't know about that. So Will Ospreay is set to headline this Sunday's AEW vs. NJPW Forbidden Door.
What that means is he pushed to wrestle.
I gotcha. I believe that. So he did headline it with some other gentlemen, 9 other ones. In Wembley Stadium, his participation was reportedly a touch-and-go stadium. It wasn't Wembley Stadium, it was the O2, by the way. So backstage, unless I'm just completely screwing this up, so backstage concerns in AEW. According to Fightful Select, several AEW sources, including members of the talent roster, expressed concern for Ospreay that he should not wrestle at the event, given the severity of his neck injury. Some were hopeful that he would be pulled, but Ospreay himself made it clear working Forbidden Door in his home country of England was too important to miss. Which, I mean, I could see that, He would, you only got a window where you can do this stuff. So the injury situation that he has going on is he reveals that he has 2 herniated discs pressing against his spinal cord, affecting nerves in his neck and back. And despite this, he was medically cleared to compete in London. His promo on Dynamite, where he said he wasn't cleared and then he made the bout unsanctioned, was reportedly a last-minute creative addition, not a shoot. At Forbidden Door, Ospreay is set to lead his team, which he did, a 10-man lights-out steel cage match against the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. And then surgery is confirmed after the event. So Ospreay has now confirmed in interviews that he will undergo neck surgery after Forbidden Door, and there's no exact date has been set for his surgery. He said that he's compromised, he's got a few herniated discs pushing against his spinal cord, which is affecting a couple of his nerves, but I can do stuff and I can perform one last time before I need to go get it all corrected, bruv. AEW medical staff reportedly assured Ospreay the injury would not worsen by working the match, and he is expected to face significant hiatus once the surgery is complete. That is complete bullshit. I've had bulging discs before, not herniated, and that's not how it works. They can't say that.
No. Oh, that's crazy that they would say that.
Yeah, it is. But anyways, we did see the AEW doctors and medical team attending Ospreay post-match at the end of Forbidden Door, and this could be the storyline to write him off. Or, he might just be pretty banged up, which he obviously is in other ways. But so after the match, they kind of were letting him do his thing, where the crowd, he was soaking it in, the crowd was cheering him on since it was his hometown, and he ended up getting locked in there with the Death Riders after everybody else walked out, and they beat him up and did the chair thing, and they wrote him off TV for a while. So I don't think they needed to do that because he already said all this, but now they did that for some, I guess they wanted to get heat off of him before they left, but the Death Riders don't really get heat. People just want them to go away.
Yep. The used to be called X-Pac heat when people had go away heat, and I think you heard it here first, folks. The term Death Riders heat.
Yeah.
If you want them to completely fuck off and no longer be on your television, they got Death Riders heat.
Will Ospreay's a pretty driven guy. He's a great athlete. He definitely is driven, and I could see him 100% pushing for this to happen, despite some people maybe being concerned about him. It's pretty wild that medical would say that, because there's no guarantee that they can't say with a guarantee that it couldn't worsen.
Anything could happen.
You could get out of your car with that going on, and that could cause the thing to worsen. You could get up off a couch. So the fact that they say that is just insane, and it just tells you the level. Like, if their medical staff really said that, they all need fired.
Yeah, that's pretty irresponsible and reckless.
You remember? You remember I was out of work for almost a month, man, with a bulging disc, and it was some of the worst pain I ever had. I could barely walk. So I don't know.
I mean, this could very well be his last match. So this is why he pushed for this. If his neck surgery doesn't go great, then this was it.
I think he'll be good.
Unfortunate reality that I don't think a lot of people thought about.
He'll be good. He just isn't going to be doing the same stuff.
Right. He's going to have to change his style when he comes back.
Everybody's done it.
I mean, that's fine. Steve Austin changed his style in the most successful period of his career.
Yeah, so. But the people want to see him kill himself. I'm not saying selfishly or anything. They just want to see that type of match. that's Darby's whole thing, you know.
Yep. Well, I just had a miniature stroke. I don't know what all that was. We're moving on. We got Swerve Strickland reportedly dealing with a significant injury. Probably why, big part of why the outcome of the match was what it was yesterday, and the quality
Absolutely.
of it was what it was. Top AEW star Swerve Strickland is reportedly working through a torn meniscus, an injury that could have major implications for his immediate future in the company. According to Fightful Select, this isn't a new issue for Strickland. He originally suffered a meniscus tear in 2019 while training at the WWE Performance Center. At the time, he rested for 4 weeks before returning to action. The report notes that Swerve has continued to deal with lingering effects ever since. Currently, the medical staff of the Jacksonville Jaguars, which they share the ownership ties with AEW, obviously, are assisting with his care and recovery. So, I mean, if you're getting NFL level of care and recovery, that's some of the best that money can buy for real.
It's a worse team, though, isn't it?
Yeah, they're one of the worst. They're in like the top 5 of bad. They might be in the top 3. I don't know. The season hasn't started yet. It's only preseason.
They ever won a ring?
No, I don't think so.
We'll look that up later.
But anyway, while Strickland is pushing forward with his commitments, there remains the possibility he will eventually require surgery, which could force him to take an extended time off from the ring. The timing could not be more pivotal, as Strickland was reportedly planning to take time off after AEW All in Texas in July, but those plans were altered. Now, despite the injury, he obviously had his match with Okada at the pay-per-view on Sunday, which was, was what it was as far as match quality. Wasn't either guy's best match. And speedy recovery to both of these guys. That's 2 more dudes that are on the AEW injury list. We had that AEW injury video of however long ago, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And Swerve wasn't on there.
Nah, it's bad timing for AEW too, because Will's going to be going, and Swerve, another one of their top guys. They're both some of the better guys on the show. I enjoy both of them a lot.
Yep.
And they're kind of in a time where they gotta have those guys there. It's they're dealing with trying to like withhold their viewership and their attendance, and from every measurable statistic, they're down on attendance, viewership. So it's like they need these guys there, and it's hopefully Kenny ends up coming back full time. If so, that would really help them out a lot, because he's a bigger star than both those guys, hands down. And
definitely,
yeah. So I mean that they do have people that they can patch those holes with, and they definitely need to, because it's we're about to be in a period now where there's no All In and there's no WrestleMania, but there's about to be Royal Rumble after these next couple months, and WWE is about to enter their hot period, and they need to be firing on all cylinders if they want to be above 500K views on Dynamite this time next year.
Definitely.
All right.
Their next rights deal is not going to go great, probably.
I don't know. It seems like sports in general, live sports, are commanding a pretty large sum. And the thing that they do have is the demo. There are some nights where they are number one in the demo.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a Wednesday. There's nothing else on. And anytime there is something else on, they're not number one. If you look at the top 100, they're actually like they're like 53, I think, which isn't bad, but there's not 53 good shows on TV right now. So when you really think about it, they're getting beat by a lot of not so good shows.
Reruns and shit.
Yeah, the only thing wrestling has going for it that other shows don't have is Warner Brothers isn't having to float the production. They're not having to put the show together. All they have to do is provide the live feed to the thing, and they're good. So in that sense, it's probably a cheap production for them, but they're paying a lot of money for this show. And I don't know. We are not experts on viewership, and we're not going to make up numbers like a lot of people out there will do. But we will tell you this. We do hope that they do better, and we do hope that they go up. And maybe if they get that sponsored right there, they will. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on. And we got a report here. And that report states that Nick Wayne is expected to be out a while. So that's number 3 that we're going on with here. So Nick Wayne will be sidelined with a broken foot and has officially been pulled from AEW NJPW Forbidden Door, where he was scheduled to compete. Man, that foot injuries are tough to deal with. That is a very... Yep. Adam Cole, it destroyed him. He was out over a year. He shattered recovery. It. Yeah. But anyways, so they had an announcement on Dynamite. On this week's episode of Dynamite, Wayne confirmed the injury himself from the promo from his home, announcing that Killswitch will replace him. And reports have since clarified that the injury is legitimate. Timing is uncertain. And according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is owned by a goofball, Wayne is going to be out for a while. The no exact turntable for recovery has been confirmed. The report also notes it's unclear when or how the injury occurred. So let me step back real quick. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Wayne's going to be out for a while. The no expected timetable for recovery has been confirmed. Yeah, no fuck. His foot's broke. So he's going to be out for a while. So you're just making an assumption based on anything that anybody else could have guessed. And there's no exact timetable for recovery. I wonder why. That's because nothing's actually happened yet. And it's unclear when or how the injury occurred. That means that you don't know, nobody told you, and you haven't talked to anybody about this. So when we were just saying that we don't make up numbers, we also don't make up reports that we're talking to people and have backstage reports on stuff that's just a general guess. What a moron.
Yeah.
But dork. Yeah. So the impact on ROH, Wayne, who currently holds the ROH World Television Championship, is now expected to miss ROH Death Before Dishonor on August 29th, though that hasn't been officially confirmed by the company, but it's happening. There's some people that are really high on Nick Wayne, and I guess for his age, he's pretty good. He's not very good at talking, and he
sucks.
He has the same kind of matches that everybody else has, and I wouldn't say that he's tight. He can perform a lot of moves, which you would need to do over there. But I'm sure in time he has a lot of room to grow, and if he's taking it seriously, which I'm sure he is, there's going to be a day where he probably will be a serious contender to being a great wrestler and having all the skills. But he needs to get out of there.
He's just some skinny kid.
Hopefully Christian's actually telling him what to do. If so, he's in great hands.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that said, speaking of people being in great hands, we got our next report here. Lex Luger takes unassisted steps in a new DDP yoga video that they had posted. And a powerful new video from the DDP Yoga YouTube channel. They show a major breakthrough in the recovery of WWE Hall of Famer Lex Luger, as the total package was able to take steps unassisted for the first time in years. It's a pretty big deal. We're pretty stoked for you about that, Lex. Yeah. Luger's health battles date back to 2007 when a spinal stroke left him temporarily paralyzed. Over time, he regained partial mobility but has largely relied on a wheelchair. The new footage captures a breakthrough moment in his rehabilitation, made possible with the help of Diamond Dallas Page and an assistive walking device.
So, Dave, I'm going to need you to explain to me what a spinal stroke is.
I have no idea.
That sounds terrible.
A new fear unlocked, ladies and gentlemen. Spinal stroke.
Does that mean that you're convulsing on only your spine muscles only? Because if so, wow. Like that is scary. Like that is absolutely just something that I would never want anything to do with.
Okay, so a spinal stroke, also known as spinal cord infarction, occurs when blood flow to the spinal cord is blocked, leading to tissue damage. This blockage can cause muscle weakness, paralysis, and loss of sensation, among other symptoms.
That sounds very serious.
It's a type of stroke that affects the spinal cord rather than the brain.
That's terrible. All those nerves.
The same thing happens to your spinal cord that happens, with the blood flow in your brain when that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it does. But sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead and continue.
No, that's okay. In the video, Luger reflected on a missed opportunity at this year's WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. He had planned to walk to the podium for his speech, but was unable to after suffering a fall at the airport the day before. DDP explained that fans never knew the original plan as they had to call an audible at the last moment. The key to Luger's breakthrough is the Life Glider. I've never heard of that, and I'm kind of in this industry doing medical equipment, so I'll
Yeah.
have to look into that. A supportive device designed to prevent falls while allowing stable walking. Fitted with the device, Luger was able to stand tall and walk several steps, an emotional moment that left those in the room in tears. Luger described the feeling simply, it's called freedom. In the video, he was even shown getting out of a car and walking unassisted to his wheelchair, refusing help. That sounds like him. The footage sparked renewed optimism from those present, including the wrestler and Survivor alum Jonathan Young, who said, "Coming back now, 3 months later, and seeing Mr. Lex walking blew my mind. I think there's real hope for Lex to walk again." Sounds like it. Diamond Dallas Page praised Luger's consistency and dedication to his rehab. The thing about Lex, and I work with a lot of people, they don't have his work ethic, his commitment, his discipline to want to be able to get life back. But yeah, I mean, he's applying his work ethic that he used to become Lex
Huge.
Luger to this.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Like his work ethic, you can take steroid supplements, all that. You still got to put in the work,
Yep.
that you just don't get big lifting a little bit of weights. It's your life. You have to eat massive amounts of food. It costs a lot of money. You just don't put on that kind of muscle by doing steroids. He got to where he was in every aspect of his life by trying very hard, putting in work, and probably outworking a lot of other people. To think of him, they're probably having to tell him, "Lex, we have to stop for today. You can only do so much. Hold on, we're gonna pick up back tomorrow. You're doing great." Like he's probably trying to work as hard as he can to get this done, and they're probably having to calm him down. I think it's amazing that
Yeah.
he's standing up. Lex seems like a nice guy. He has demons like everybody else. I'm really happy for him and his family that there's a possibility that he could maybe go on that beach on that vacation. There's a lot of life to live yet for him if he can figure this out. And way to go, DDP's a great guy. He helps a lot of
Hell
people. We on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We move on.
All right, we'll move on to this next report we have here, and that's Vince McMahon's 80th birthday party brings out WWE legends and stars. So, Vince McMahon turned 80 years old on August 24th, 2025, and marked the milestone with a private party at New York City's Gotham Hall, drawing a mix of longtime allies, WWE Hall of Famers, and current stars. So, who all attended? Well, according to PWI Insider, the guest list included Hall of Famers Gerald Briscoe, JBL, The Undertaker, Michelle McCool. If Mark Calloway is anywhere, Michelle McCool is going to be right behind him.
Yeah.
Kane and Sergeant Slaughter, current WWE stars John Cena, R-Truth, Sheamus, and the WWE Executive Board Director Bruce Pritchard was also rumored to be in attendance. Now, he was there. You saw him on the thing when they left. Like, he was right there. There's a video of this. We didn't really show it because it's really grainy, and I can't imagine, could you imagine how much worse it would look if I put it up there and they had to watch it through a YouTube stream of decompress? It would be decompressed 3 times. It's no point in doing any of that. Look it up yourself.
You guys
if you
can
want.
find it out there on your wrestling news website, du jour. It's on all of them.
Yeah, the quality of the video stinks, so you're not going to see much. But Vince looks terrible. He looks so bad, man. I don't know who he went to get that plastic surgery that he had done, but he needs to go back to them and get every cent back and sue them.
Practice, yeah.
Yeah, they screwed him over. But outside of wrestling, the celebration featured performances from Kid Rock, AC/DC, and other unnamed music artists. What the hell, man? Kid Rock. Security was significantly beefed up, with reports that guests didn't stop for autographs or photos while entering and leaving the venue. Oh man, McMahon's back in the spotlight. McMahon has been largely out of the public eye since facing sexual assault allegations that led to his resignation, but in recent weeks he reemerged, attending Hulk Hogan's funeral and appearing in TMZ's new documentary about Hogan. Cena and R-Truth have both remained outspoken about their loyalty to Vince, with Cena previously stating that he loves McMahon despite the controversy surrounding him. Cena is a corporate schmuck. Of course he would say something like that. So what's next for McMahon? Well, alongside his return to public view, Vince appears to be gearing up for a second act in business. He recently announced the formation of a new entertainment company, 14th and I, signaling that he's not ready to walk away from the spotlight just yet. So he's trying to use his capital. He's hired a lot of the people that used to work for him already. He's trying to find something, whether it's kickboxing, some kind. It's not going to be wrestling. What's going to be... I don't think he's actually allowed to open up another wrestling company. This isn't confirmed, so don't take it for that. But I'm pretty sure that as a part of his resignation or whatever he did when they let him go from TKO, that he could not open a competing wrestling business.
I'm sure that there's
Yeah.
some kind of no compete in there. Who knows how long that's for, though.
I'm sure it's... Either way, he's not going to beat WWE, so there's no point in trying. He's going to try to do something like... I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up Glory Kickboxing or something like that. Like who's ever doing the big kickboxing company, because there's a lot of really good talent there. I'm surprised the UFC never did that, but I could definitely see that being something that would happen. I don't know, maybe he can try to make movies again or something like that, but he's going to want to be a part of the spotlight too, so it's got to be something that he could be featured in, and he's not ready to walk away yet, but I can tell you something, everybody's ready to walk away from him.
Well, except for those people at his birthday party.
Well, makes you wonder, were they involved?
Nah.
You don't think Bruce...
Nah. I mean, maybe, but probably not. I mean, if Bruce had any kind of level of involvement, he would already not be there.
Yeah.
Just like Laurinaitis and Vince.
I guess that's true, but either way, I don't wish anything bad against McMahon. Hopefully his business works out and they figure out what they're going to do.
Yep. Well, we got yet another report. We got a lot of reports. Oh, seems like there's a lot of news always these days. So, Wrestlepalooza's $6,000 tickets further prove WWE's prices are out of control. WWE has officially I can't talk. I don't know why. They confirmed it will revive ECW's Wrestlepalooza next month, set for September 20th, directly opposite of AEW All Out. But with only a month to sell the show, WWE's strategy is clear. Price the front rows at nearly $6,000 a seat. That's crazy. The first 3 rows are nearly $6,000 each. Tickets are currently on Ticketmaster, and seats in the F5 section, that's the hard cam side right by the ring, are listed at $5,988.35 a piece. That's before taxes and Ticketmaster's additional fees, which will push the cost well over $6,000 per ticket. If you're looking to save a couple thousand, entrance ramp seats are running between $3,000 and $4,000, and the next tier drops to about $2,400. Even the cheapest seats available are $130.15, and those come with a limited view disclaimer. So, man, that really sucks. Bad news for WrestleMania, too. For fans thinking about skipping Wrestlepalooza and saving for WrestleMania 42, the sticker shock gets worse. Early leaks on next year's packages show the ringside seats priced at $70,000 for both nights. Second and third row packages are slotted between $35,000 and $50,000. This escalation continues the trend that began after TKO assumed control of WWE. Last year's WrestleMania Ticket 41 ticket backlash didn't slow sales. I said ticket too many times there. Emboldening WWE to push prices even higher this time around. Even stars are noticing. Earlier this year, Randy Orton called the ticket costs embarrassing in a viral fan shot video. I saw a thing going around, and then they're like, oh, TKO is just doing this because they have those big loans to pay off from the sale or the buy, and the ticket prices might come down to be more manageable once they pay it off. And it's like, when in the history of ever have things come down
Yeah, that's not how
once they're up?
companies work. Once they realize you're willing to pay
No.
it, that's what they do. And
Yeah,
if you keep paying it, they'll do it. And if you don't, the prices go down.
exactly.
$70,000. I don't know. This WWE can get a big one of those.
Yeah, I mean, miss me with all of that. I don't have anything positive to say.
Yeah, I would love to go to WrestleMania and sit up front, but that's never going to happen because that's more than I make a year. So it's just corporate greed. Their fans got them here. They're ringing them for every drop they can, and the ESPN deal is the epitome of this. They think that they have a rich fan base who will keep doing this, but eventually they're going to run them off.
Man, when I went to WrestleMania in 2008, I thought I was getting raked over the coals.
How much?
It was like $250.
Ugh.
It was like the first stadium level. You know how there's like the floor, and then there's
Yeah.
like the first stadium level and the second and third.
Those are actually good seats because you're kind of over it. You're not down, so you can kind of get in the head up. You're like kind of level above the ring a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is just sad, man. I don't think I'm ever going to be going to another. Or I've never been. I've only been to AEW shows. They're somewhat affordable. I sat third row from the front, and I think it was like about $500 for me and Cora together. So got to see Daniel Bryan in the flesh right in front of me.
Yeah.
He actually ran into me. Funny enough.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, side note about that WrestleMania that I went to. That was CM Punk winning the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match.
That's
I was
awesome.
there. The Shawn Michaels beating Ric Flair in Flair's retirement match. So that was cool. And they had Floyd Mayweather in the Big Show, and then the main event was Undertaker and Edge. So pretty cool. And obviously there were other matches besides that, but pretty cool. Some of that stuff's like like the Flair Michaels match, historic.
Absolutely. I still watch it here and there every couple of years, just to watch old Rick spit in the face.
The best. Go ahead.
He spits in the face of WWE, has his retirement there, and just goes and does it somewhere else multiple times.
Yeah. Best retirement match of all time
The Sting one,
so far.
the Sting one's up there too.
Yeah.
That was good.
AEW doesn't do a lot of things right, but
They did
their
that.
handling of Sting was top tier. They probably couldn't have done a better job.
I agree. Well, that being said, we're going to talk about somebody who may or may not be doing a good job, and that's The Rock's interest in Danhausen. So, according to
Oh.
Wrestling Observer Newsletter, which, just a reminder, is owned by a lying, manipulative, goofball moron, there are people inside WWE who admire the Danhausen gimmick, and The Rock himself is among them. Goofball reported that there are those in WWE into that gimmick, including Dwayne Johnson, who was a big fan of him when he first started making his name. As both a former WWE champion and a current TKO board member, The Rock's interest adds a major wrinkle to the business and creative conversation surrounding Danhausen. Danhausen's AEW contract status. Well, Fightful Select, who is a way more reputable reporting source than Wrestling Observer Newsletter, recently reported that Danhausen's AEW contract was extended into 2026 due to the time missed with a torn pectoral muscle. This extension was made apparently against his wishes, leaving him stuck in a contract despite being rarely featured on television. What do you mean rarely? It's never. This has placed the very nice, very evil star in a state of contractual limbo, with a fan base still eager to see him showcased. So the business of Danhausen. Danhausen was already a viral sensation in the independent scene before signing with AEW in 2022. His mix of comedy, horror, influence, and quirky personality connected instantly, making him one of the top merchandise sellers in the company. The Rock's admiration makes sense from a business perspective. Danhausen has a proven record of moving merchandise and cultivating a loyal fan base, with AEW underutilizing him and WWE's most powerful figures openly appreciating the gimmick. Speculation about the future jump is already heating up. I don't buy this at all. I don't think The Rock knows who Danhausen is.
He does.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
When did he comment on that?
There was some kind of video. Didn't he come out with like a drink or something?
I don't know.
And Danhausen was drinking it, and it would like the camera would show Danhausen, and then it would cut away, and he would take a drink, and it would come back to him, and he would look more like The Rock each time that the camera cut away and cut back to him. Like he'd have a new accessory or the way that his hair was styled, and The Rock ended up seeing that and put him over and that sort of thing. I do remember that happening.
Well, beyond that, I don't know. I just don't buy that he said that. I doubt that he has mentioned anything to anybody about. Oh yeah, let's get that guy in here. He might have back then, but not recently.
If Mr. Iguana, works, Danhausen could work.
I'm not saying he's not going to work.
Mr. Iguana.
I think that he could work very well in WWE. I'm just saying one of the most popular people on the planet that's constantly busy, that also is drunk 24/7. I feel like would have a very hard time remembering who Danhausen is. I'm sure at one point maybe he did, but he's not mentioned. He's not, man, Paul, you got to hire this Danhausen guy. That never happened. If it did, it was only at the time back then. But I just, I think that he would work really well in WWE. It's strange that they don't want to use him in AEW. I think it has to do with him being a friend of Punk.
Yep. Well, they gave Burger King the tag team belt, though, and he's a friend of Punk. Who knows? But same with Darby.
I don't think Burger King ever went on social media talking about it, though, did he? Punk.
I don't know.
Danhausen
I'm not
did.
sure.
He was on Punk's side throughout that whole thing there. But yeah, it's kind of weird, He let Ricky Starks go, and then he let a couple guys go early, like Penta and Phoenix, even though it didn't seem like he wanted to. But you hold on to this guy. The only people that this guy sticks up to are like underneath talent or like small people. He like if it was like Big Bill, come on now, man. He would be fearing for his life again.
Goofy.
All right. Well, hold on.
Speaking of people fearing for their lives.
No, the perfect transition was speaking of Goofy.
Right. That too. We have police investigating Raja Jackson and Psycho Stu incident. And I got to cough for a second. I'm going to hit my mute. Excuse me.
You're good.
The fallout continues from the shocking attack at the KnockX Pro Academy event in Los Angeles, where
it's Rikishi's.
Raja Jackson, that's Rikishi's place. The son of former UFC star Quentin Rampage Jackson violently assaulted the wrestler Psycho Stuart Smith, in front of a live audience. During the Knox Experience event, Raja stormed the ring and attacked Psycho Stu. Jackson picked him up and slammed him before delivering 20 plus punches while Stu was unconscious. He got knocked out from the slam. It was pretty brutal. And the ref and other people weren't necessarily sure if it was a work or not, and then the other wrestlers ran in and saved the guy. Anyway, Stu sustained broken facial bones, lost teeth, and was briefly unresponsive. He has since been discharged from the hospital. Wrestler Doug Mallow attempted to intervene, only to be attacked as well. Mallow described the scene as tragic and barbaric, especially with families and children in attendance. I hadn't even thought about that there'd be children there. That's terrible.
You see they still pinned him?
Yeah. That poor training. A lot of not good training going on at Rikishi's school there, based on that video. The LAPD confirmed to TMZ that a report was filed that potential charges may include felony assault and attempted murder. Video evidence from Jackson's live stream shows him ranting post-attack. I'm tired of everybody fucking clowning me. I'm no fucking bitch. At the end of the day, I'm going to stand up for my fucking self. Sorry about the swearing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just reading the news here. It's topical. KnockX Pro condemned Raja's actions as selfish, irresponsible act of violence and banned him permanently. Smart. In the aftermath, KnockX Pro has quietly scrubbed WWE affiliation from its social media accounts, removing its branding from bios and headers per PW Insider. So yeah, they're not going to be part of the ID program anymore, I assume, at least for
Nope.
now. WWE itself has unfollowed KnockX Pro, Rikishi, and their head trainer Black Pearl on Twitter. This move suggests that WWE is severing ties with the California based school, which has been part of WWE's ID program. Uh, Quentin Rampage Jackson publicly apologized, saying, I don't condone my son's actions at all. Raja is an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler. He had no business involved in an event like this. In a recently resurfaced interview, Psycho Sue spoke about his military service and PTSD, saying that wrestling was his way to readjust to civilian life. Being in front of the crowd, it doesn't give me as much anxiety and aggression as I thought it would. So what's next? The LAPD investigation remains ongoing. KnockX Pro faces serious credibility damage with WWE distancing itself. For Raja Jackson, the case could escalate to attempted murder charges depending on how the prosecutors move forward. I saw the You saw the video of this, right? I sent it to you.
Yeah.
It's just brutal. I mean, the guy got dumped on his head on a slam. Like, I guess he was supposed to do a run in on the match. Like, that part was supposed to happen. And then he went into business for himself and just started winging haymakers after he dumped old dude on his head. And it just, this guy's a knucklehead. And his friend that was trying to get him to calm down and leave, that's the best friend in the world that you got, buddy. And, you thank that guy that the charges that you're getting, whatever you get, aren't worse because that guy.
He has I don't know. It's kind of messed up because like the wrestler guy hit Rampage's son in the head with a beer can earlier in the day, and that made him mad. And they ended up kind of squashing a little bit in the middle of the day. But then later in the day, one of the people that worked there told him to get a receipt on the guy in the ring. So that's what he did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, normally when I'd knock somebody out, I'd probably stop hitting them after a couple times. Just maybe get one or two good ones in. But after that, I'd stop because they're not able to defend themselves.
The beer can thing was a worked beer can too, by the way.
He doesn't know that. This guy doesn't know anything about wrestling. He's just some guy there that's like he apparently had a concussion a couple days before too, so he probably wasn't in the best state of mind. He's training for MMA, so he's getting punched in the head a lot. So I don't know. Just kind of reeks of a celebrity kid, not understanding what consequences are.
Full entitlement.
Yeah,
he'll understand them now.
Oh yeah, when they give him 20 hours of community service, that'll really hurt him there. But I don't know. In the end, the people who are at fault for this is this promotion. It's their fault. Not saying that Raja shouldn't face consequences because he should, but somebody's in charge of this deal, and it's their fault, and they should have been on top of this, and they weren't. And you didn't have to pin the guy afterwards either in the match. Scum.
No, I mean, this should have been one of those things where the referee's instantly tossing up the X and you're getting everybody out of there. Like, if the guy was, I mean, they said he was unresponsive.
Yeah, he was for a while.
Like, pinning him is no longer an option. Moving him around, doing anything, you get everybody away from him, and nobody touches him until the medical team gets there.
Yeah, there's a lot of irresponsible people here. Not
Bush
good
League
stuff. But I think that being said, we can move on to something that's going to be a way friendlier topic here, and that's going to be our review of King of the Hill episodes 5 and 6. So this is the new season 14 revival of the series, and we're going to jump into episode 5, which is a new ref in town. I just watched this again. This is my second time watching it, but I forget everything. So I watched it right before the thing, so it's like fresh in my brain. So we got we got a new ref in town, which is the name of this episode, and it's kind of like a late series gem that manages to feel both timely classic King of the Hill. What makes this shine is like how it tackles soccer, a sport that Hank mocked back in the day. He uses it as a way to play with his character, which is kind of surprising. Like Hank's constantly evolving now. It was just like very funny and an oddly heartfelt way that they did this. So the episode kicks off with Hank reluctantly showing off some knowledge at soccer, which immediately sets off an alarm bell for Dale. Dale's paranoid suspicion that Hank must have been turned into a Saudi spy is peak Dale Gribble, and it sets up some of the funniest interactions of the season, from Bill's failed attempt at seducing Peggy during an undercover work to Dale's over-the-top kidnapping plot. The payoff where Hank deadpans that maybe he just likes soccer is was pretty funny. At the same time, the Bobby storyline adds a great counterbalance. Bobby's attempt to buy a car on his own and his decision to accept a horse from Bronco Barry as a part of the deal is the perfect example of Bobby's good-hearted but gullible nature. His willingness to take on more responsibility than he's ready for, only to get in over his head, captures what makes Bobby so relatable to the final solution with John Redcorn stepping in to take the horse. He keeps the subplot sweet and grounded. What really elevates the episode, though, are the little character beats. Did you see the boxers? But what really elevates this episode, though, are the little character beats. Hank's flashback to discovering soccer in Saudi Arabia, Peggy's barely hidden excitement when Hank puts on his referee uniform, and Boomhauer's hopeless refereeing and keep all the laughs coming while layering the story. The balance between Hank's dirty little secret love for soccer and Dale's conspiracy-fueled breakdowns makes the ending feel both silly and satisfying. So why this episode worked was Dale and Bill's antics are some of the funniest paranoia-driven gags in late-season King of the Hill. Bobby's subplot gives heart and humor while highlighting his innocence. The soccer theme makes the episode feel relevant while still keeping the show's small-town, character-driven focus intact. Overall, New Ref in Town is clever, funny, and surprisingly warm. It pokes fun at America's glowing love of soccer while giving us classic Arlen absurdity. A strong entry for season 14 that deserves some high praise. I like this episode a lot. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
I enjoyed
funny.
it too. I liked the reveal of Hank actually being a soccer fan.
Yeah, well, I thought it was funny how they kidnapped him too, and then he just got out of it by lying to him about what he was doing. He just went with
He's just
Dale's thing.
he just chloroformed the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then Peggy's turned on by it, and it was pretty funny. And then overall, it's just good stuff, more character development, and I like the episode a lot. Bobby's a good guy.
Yeah. It was funny when he comes home with the horse and Connie's making fun of him and telling him, that he told you were soft. And Joseph's like, we can't keep the horse. And then the horse starts cuddling Joseph, and Joseph's instantly all over the horse's jock.
Yeah, John Redcorn ends up taking it.
Yeah.
It'll be a good way for them to bond. Pretty good stuff. Take us into episode 6, Peggy's Fadeout.
Well, Peggy's Fadeout is a strong late series episode because it manages to juggle multiple storylines while still delivering the kind of small town humor and character depth that King of the Hill is known for. The Peggy and Bill storyline is easily the highlight. Seeing Bill create a whole alternate version of his life at the North Ireland barbershop, complete with Peggy as his wife, is both hilarious and a little sad, which is exactly what makes Bill such a compelling character. The twist where he tells everyone Peggy actually died is pure Bill. Overdramatic, misguided, and oddly touching. The moment where Peggy overhears him giving an emotional speech about her and decides not to expose the lie is one of those rare, tender beats between two characters who usually just irritate each other, and it lands beautifully. Meanwhile, Bobby's subplot ties the show together. Humor, heart, and a bit of teenage awkwardness, even though he's not a teenager anymore. His attempt to revive King of the Grill with promo shoots is classic Bobby ambition, earnest but half-baked. The introduction of Willow adds an interesting wrinkle, and the way that she butts heads with Connie highlights Connie's true feelings for Bobby without her saying it outright. But the E&M, ethical non-monogamy gag, could have gone sideways. But it plays out in a way that's both funny and very true to the teenage cast fumbling their way through relationships. I don't know why it keeps calling them teenagers. They're in their young
22,
20s. Yeah. Anyway, Dale's rat hunting antics keeps the comedy flowing. His sexy rat plan is absurd even by Dale standards, but it works as kind of bizarre B plot that reminds you how off the wall he could be. Watching Emilio and Bobby try to deal with the chaos grounds it.
He was gonna shoot. He was gonna shoot the rat. At one point.
And the payoff was all three rats were caught at the end. Is a nice comedic button. Why it works. Bill's storyline balances humor and pathos, showing his loneliness, but also I can't talk. Also his ability to reinvent himself. Peggy getting a surprising amount of heart here, choosing compassion over exposing Bill's lies. Bobby, Connie, and Willow add youthful and awkward humor with just enough drama to keep it engaging. Dale's subplot ties everything together with an absurd but fitting comedy. Overall, Peggy's Fadeout is a well-rounded episode that mixes humor, character drama, and just the right amount of weirdness. It leaves a few threads dangling, especially Bill's lie, but that gives it a lived-in, real-world feel. Life in Ireland doesn't always have to tie up neatly. A fun, thoughtful episode that proves even in season 14, King of the Hill still has plenty to say. I really enjoyed this. I've been liking the whole season so far. I feel like it's kind of getting better as we go.
Yeah, it's nice. They're definitely going to do another season, but they're just expanding into the characters, adding more depth into all of them. Hank's growing. It's showing the ways Bobby's grown, since he's grown up. Peggy kind of just seems more like a side character, to get plots with Hank a little bit, but it was pretty cool. It's funny, Connie sent Bobby those cookies, and it said that he's not E&M material, his husband material. So I guess she's into him, and eventually he's going to try to pursue that or something. But yeah, overall this is a pretty good episode. I liked it a lot. Yeah, not too much more to say. This is just really good stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
accurate description.
Yeah. Well, dude. I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap it up then. We're going to talk about what we got going on next, right?
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
All right, so we're going to be talking about Raw and Dynamite. Raw actually happened earlier. They started at 3. So we'll end up watching that after this, and we're going to have some more news. We're going to be talking about WWE Unreal Episode 5, which is the final episode, and who knows what else. So check out our social medias like always, at OverMark ENT. It's the same on everything.
Dickhead.
Yeah, and we appreciate all you Overmaniacs for listening. We got you a day late, but we're always going to have them here. Me and Dave got real life that happens, but we're gonna make it happen. We don't have a set date on this stuff technically, so we can do it whenever we want. We just try to.
That's right.
We just try to get it to you when we say we're going to. But either way, we appreciate you for listening. I appreciate Dave for being here with me like always. We're just here doing this thing, and if you've even listened to 30 seconds of this show, we really appreciate you a lot. And that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys have a great night. I'm going to hand it on to Dave. He's going to say bye to you, and then we're going to see you on that next episode.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday.
Yes, we will. Have a good one, guys.
DJ's yelling at a gift, Dave's eating crab. We skipped our bills to watch Raw live and ranked 800 wrestlers just to survive. Our muscles are fake.